Everyone, so my name is Victra, and I'm putting together this really quick, really crude one-take tutorial on how to shield drop effectively, efficiently, and consistently. So basically, shield dropping has been around for a long time, but it's started to pick up a lot of steam. And I want to show everyone a way that you can start utilizing and integrating shield dropping into your gameplay as quick as possible and be able to reap the full benefits of shield dropping, because it's starting to become a really important tool in today's meta, as we can see with AMSA and with Armada being able to shield drop and to change and turn around situations where you'd basically have to give it up and stay on the defensive to switching that around and counterattacking and counterplaying with shield dropping from a defensive position. So shield dropping is shielding on a platform, angling your shield or angling your control stick down, and you'll end up shield dropping. But this method is pretty tough because you have to hit this really delicate angle, which you can do with enough practice, but you do risk sometimes spot dodging because of it, because the angle is so precise and it's so delicate. An easier method to use for shield dropping, and I believe it was popularized by Axe, is to shield, angle all the way left or all the way right, and go down one notch on your control stick. And you'll shield drop every single time this way. So you want to just tilt your shield so you don't end up rolling and just go down one notch. So when you look at a control stick, or when you look at a controller rather, and you look at the control stick, you'll see that there's a bunch of notches all the way around the control stick. So when you tilt your shield all the way left or all the way right, you'll see that you can basically go down one notch, and that's all you need to do. There's no timing or anything. And once you're down that one notch, then you'll shield drop every single time. But this method, even though it's the most consistent way to shield drop, rather than going down for the raw angle and risk spot dodging a lot more, this is a really slow process to kind of set up, because you have to shield, you have to angle your shield, and then you spot dodge from, or you shield drop from there. And because one of the main benefits of shield dropping is to be able to land on a platform, being stuck on a platform, taking a hit, and then shield dropping, and then retaliating with your own attack, you don't have much time, especially in the heat of a melee match, to shield, then to angle, and then to shield drop, and then to throw out a move. So what you can do instead is there's ways to set up yourself so then you can shield drop a lot easier without really taking much away. So for example, if you're on a platform, you can roll to the edge, and while you're rolling, you basically hold your control stick all the way in that direction, and you keep holding it in that direction, so you're set up for the shield drop. You don't have to tilt your shield. Another way is to dash on a platform to shield, and to shield drop that way. And because you're dashing all the way left or all the way right, you can end up shield dropping because your control stick is already in that direction. But once again, these two platforms, these two kind of platform mechanics to shield drop are fairly situational. You won't find yourself dash shielding on platforms too often, or rolling on platforms and then shield dropping too often. So what you can do instead is when you do aerials onto platforms, for example, if you were to stomp, you can basically preemptively set up your shield drop. It's not necessarily buffering, but it's kind of the same idea, where during the cooldown, you basically input that move of moving your control stick all the way left or all the way right, during the cooldown of an attack, or during landing leg, where it's not inputted, but your actual physical control stick is set into position for shield dropping. So when you do aerials onto platforms, you can see that during the leg, you can set up your shield drop that way. Just by, as soon as you land, you go in that direction. So if you're just doing an aerial just with A and your control stick instead of your C stick, that kind of helps too. You can kind of do it that way. Or if you do an aerial with your C stick, but you lean one way or the other, then you can do it that way as well. So if I do an up air with the C stick, I'm fading towards the stage, and that kind of sets me up preemptively that way as well. But I believe the absolute best way to start shield dropping is to get into the habit of tilting your shield, or tilting your control stick all the way left or all the way right as soon as you shield, and kind of doing it both at the same time. So every time that you shield, you're going to shield and basically go all the way left or all the way right at the same time. And when you do that, every time you land on a platform, you can see that my shield is already set up. So basically, it's kind of a timing, but it's really easy to do. Right as soon as you land, you basically tilt your shield all the way left or all the way right. As soon as you land with your shield, so it both comes out at the same time, so then you can shield drop that way. So every time you land on a platform, you can just shield drop really, really quickly because you already have that initial conditions set up to do so. So if you don't need to shield drop and you just want to jump away, you're free to do so, but you do have that shield drop option set up. So then as soon as you land, you can start shield dropping that way. And you can start implementing this into your gameplay by just getting into the habit of doing the tilt shield landing every single time. And then you're ready to shield drop every single time. And you'll find yourself not messing up and doing air dodges, or rather spot dodges, and getting hit because of it. And you can start using shield drops aggressively by landing on platforms, and then being able to take the hit and then shield drop and then retaliate that way. And you'll find yourself doing it a lot more consistently this way. So I hope this video helped. I think it ended up being a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Yeah, keep practicing, and hopefully you two can get shield dropping really, really consistently, because I do truly believe that it's a really, really important tool to use in today's meta, especially for Falcon players. That way you can start liking Fountain of Dreams a little bit more, because you can start playing around with those platforms a bit more. So hope you enjoyed the video. Once again, my name is Victra, and this was my really quick tutorial on shield dropping.